Welcome to Property with Jacob. I'm your host, Jacob Walker. Today we're going to be looking at starting young, getting involved in property for the first time, and actually getting some traction within the industry. Personally, I started thinking about property when I was about 15 or 16 years old. I viewed it as a way to kind of escape the normal rat race. It all begins with the job. So my part-time job, I worked at McDonald's briefly, and it was a bit degrading. You know, I earned £4.85 an hour. It was very long shifts. I didn't earn very much money. It was quite grim work, let's say. It wasn't the most pleasant, and I was quite keen at the time, and I wanted to kind of like move my way up. That's kind of how I understood the world, is you do your job well, you move up. That's kind of how it works. But that was kind of when I started to think of what's my why. So why are you actually getting involved in property? So wanting to climb that career ladder and wanting to move up that career ladder relatively quickly, I feel like my outlook was particularly naive, which kind of got me thinking about a broader potential topics of what I could go into. Property is great. It can bring you a lot of finance, it can bring you a monthly income, it can increase your wealth as a whole through the rise in the market. When you start young, it's all about saving that initial deposit so you can buy your first home or investment, whichever you please. So when you start at the beginning, you might want to take out an ISA, particularly a lifetime ISA, as the government can give you 25% additional funds on top of what you save. So you save £10,000, they give you £12,500. Or they give you £2,500 to give you £12,500 in total. This really helps with legal fees. As like a first-time buyer, this can be somewhat hidden cost. The Help to Buy ISA has a £200 a month limit on what you can put into the account. So you put 200 quid away every month if you can afford it. This actually helps you get to where you want to be in terms of buying the house and getting the funds together in the first place. Or obviously per year, if you're saving £200 a month, then you're going to save £2,400 a year. So in order to get quite a large amount of money, say you wanted to get to just under 10k, then that'd take you about 4 years. So it's quite a while to get there. If you find that you're earning over or saving more than £200 a month, then you would want to put the money into an additional account, which is actually what I did. I saved my £200 a month, and then all the other money that I earn, I put into a separate savings account, which helped me get to where I wanted to be a bit quicker. I will make another video that's based around ISAs. However, for the sake of this, it's quite an in-depth topic, ISAs, so we'll do that in a future video. The next thing I want to talk about is work ethic. It's all well and good having these points of, oh yeah, I want to, leave the rat race, or I want to be financially free, and all these other topics. However, have you got the work ethic and the drive to actually carry it through? Because a lot of people might say these things, but then they won't follow through and actually do it. And it's very easy for me to kind of like just sit here and tell the people, you guys watching at home, that you need to work hard, blah, 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 but actually going and doing it is really hard, and it's grinding and it's gritty, and it'll beat you down, and it's not nice. You have to do some things that you won't particularly want to do, like get burnt with oil in McDonald's. But it's all worth it in the end. It's all worth it. The point is that being true to yourself, staying determined and staying motivated, and getting up every morning, getting out of bed and going to work and doing something meaningful with the time that you have is the important factor. Which brings me on to my next point. Part-time jobs and savings. As I said before, I worked at McDonald's when I was 16. I only worked there for 6 months, and then I moved to, it was a department store called Selfridges at the Trafford Centre, if you know Manchester very well. And then that was kind of like, my step up in terms of like my retail career path, let's say. While I was still at college, school for McDonald's, and then college when I worked at Selfridges. And it's really important to, again, keep going with these jobs, because you won't be making a huge vast sum of money, but relative to what your costs will be at the time, that's money that you can just save. Because chances are, if you're young, you'll be living at home anyway. I doubt your parents might actually pay rent, but it might not be similar to what you'd be paying if you were out, fending for yourself, let's say. So it's more of a time to save and to really capture that wealth that you can generate while you're younger. And again, sticking to a very rigid savings plan of keeping your £200 a month every month into your ISA and just keep on going with it. And if you save anything additional, put it to the side in a separate savings account. The next factor is thinking with the ends in mind. So think with the end in mind, think where you want to be. Consider what you want to achieve in the next 5 years, for example, and think, right, if I want to achieve this in 5 years, what will I need to do every single year in order to achieve that 5-year goal? You can class this as goal setting, objective setting, whatever you please. Personally, at the start of every year, instead of doing New Year's resolutions, I write down on my whiteboard, I write down 5 things that I want to achieve this year. So this year, my 5 objectives were, I wanted to get a first in my degree, I wanted to earn £30,000, I wanted to get 2 more houses, I wanted to start my podcast or YouTube channel, and there's one other thing that actually slips my mind. I'll have to check. 3 of those things I've completed, and due to COVID-19 I wasn't able to buy any houses because my work plan was decimated. Essentially I was absolutely destroyed, and then a lot of my current tenants were unable to pay their rent, which hindered my investments as a whole. Again, in a future video we can look at potential drawbacks and benefits of rental properties as a specific topic. So thinking with the end in mind is really important. My 5-year plan is to start a business and actually an engineering company, which I'm using property to finance that. So you have to think of what's the point in you starting to invest in property or think about property or get involved in the first place. Like, why do you want to do it? Because it's very easy to say, oh yeah, I just want to do it. But then when the going gets tough and it's hard, are you just going to quit because you don't have a good enough reason to carry on? Or are you going to persevere, push forward and really get through it because what your reason for getting involved in property is really important to you, which I hope it's the latter. The next subtopic that I want to cover is skills. So again, while you're at college, school, university, you can work on soft skills and side skills that are complementary to your degree or form of study. Or even just general soft skills, for example, like going out and talking to people. I found in my sales roles that they give me an ability to show them the benefits and features of products which they might not have foreseen in the first place, which allowed them to make an informed decision on whether they wanted the product or not. Another thing as well is it can make you confident, and within property you need confidence. What we're going to talk about in a later video is what to look for within a property in the pre-stage in terms of the finance and the business side of it. You need to be confident in negotiating a better price for that property, because chances are the prices you see on Rightmove are more than what they expect or more than what they think they're going to get anyway. So you need to have the confidence to talk them down and to get a price that you think is worthwhile. And it saves you money as well. Learning these soft skills is really important, and I find the best way of doing that is just getting out into the world and experiencing it firsthand. It's what you should really be thinking about if you're young, again, teenagers of 16 and 24, and you want to get involved. And the final section is getting going. So the most important section is actually getting started in the first place. You can talk about it and you can research it to your heart's content, but you need to get going with it really. You need to get stuck in, find a part-time job if you're studying full-time, and really start putting those pounds away every month, keep on saving it, and don't give up. Don't give in to temptation, and really keep on putting money aside for the future. Because even if you're not sure, again, coming back to one of the previous topics of thinking in the end in mind, when you might feel like 65 retirement age or 70 whenever the government decides you can retire, or you can decide to retire whenever you want by building a good property portfolio and retire when you choose to retire. But yeah, getting going is the most important factor. Actually, just getting out there, starting, getting involved, and cracking on with the future investments. That is the most important thing. Whether that's finding a part-time job, opening your ISA, and actually having a look on Rightmove and just looking at properties just so you understand how it works, gaining those skills, as I said before. They're the most important things to think about. Kind of all need to be done. But if you do take away anything from this video, it's just start, just get going with it. It's been Property with Jacob. I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, then please like it. We've got a lot more videos in the pipeline, so if you like what you see, subscribe to us for weekly videos. I'll see you in the next one.